Welcome everyone to our Building Depth call. This is our first Tuesday. We meet as a powerful community on the first and third Tuesdays of the month. And this is Tuesday number one. It's our panel of 9 executives slash presidential consultants. I am your host for this evening. My name is Cynthia Greenewald. I'm broadcasting from outside Philadelphia. And it is such an exciting lineup. So definitely have your pencils sharpened, your pens raring, your notebooks ready, or at least a nice cup of tea in case you're, coming rushing home from a busy day and you're joining us and you made it work. And I really appreciate what it takes to develop oneself in this conversation, which is creating a leveraged income, breaking free from what I like to call the matrix of linear income, trading time for money. So we are developing a new muscle as we develop ourselves as leaders in this business. And I'm so excited about who we'll be hearing from. This is a group of people who have achieved anywhere from $1 million a year in volume to $1 million a month in volume. This would be that group of people that we would call executive consultants. It's a very special way to learn, is that people did it. And these are people that started part-time in some cases, people who may have come from the industry and learned the system here, people who'd never done network marketing and got a chance to learn from those who've been in this industry a couple decades or more, as well as people like my sponsors, Sarah and Chris Smith, had never been in the industry while I had 30 something years in the industry. And I thought, whoa, they mastered a system in a compressed period of time that took me almost 3 decades to learn. So that meant I could bring my friends here who may have never touched this industry, and they could have a track to run on and shorten their learning curve. I like to call it success compression. I've heard that over the years. It's one of my favorite terms. And that is what we provide in this conversation, building depth in the system. So we're going to hear from a group. We have basically 3 different groups rotating, 9 different panelists. And I am going to hand it over. And they're each going to take a topic and do a kind of Cliff Notes mini deep dive in their small time, somewhere in that kind of 5 minutes-ish. And I am so excited for you to benefit from this conversation. And here we go. We're going to move over to Colorado, is where we're going to start it off with Joanne Madison. She's in Monument, Colorado. This is one of the bright lights of our community. Aunt JoJo is sometimes what we call her. And her topic system. Why don't we hand it over to you, Joanne Madison? Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Cynthia. I always appreciate you and all the value that you bring to everyone. You're just pearls of wisdom abound out of every time you speak. So it's been fun getting to know you on a deeper level for sure. But I'm excited to be with all of you tonight. Happy New Year. Happy 2026, right? Here we are in January, and it is a month that is just setting us up for hopefully a great year. And just we get to choose what kind of a year we have ahead of us. So hopefully you've all pondered and have written down some goals that you'd like to achieve for 2026. I'm not going to go into it, but you can look up the statistics on those that write down goals and those that just put them in their head. And it is astronomically different if you just write it down. This year, I'd like to achieve whatever it is. But part of achieving that is my topic, which is having a system. And one thing with this community of leadership and individuals that have united together and have raised their hands to say, we want to make an impact in this company and in this country and in this world, to leave this place a better place and to really help people. To me, when we have a system to follow, that makes it way easier. Because trust me, in the very beginning, because Dave and I have been with LifeVantage since day one, when they were transitioning out of their distribution model of retail into this distribution model of network marketing or direct sales, call it whatever you want, we didn't have a system. And so today, to tell you that if you will follow this and just not quit on yourself, you will have success. Statistically, you have to. What your journey is going to look like, it's different for everyone, and that's the fun and frustrating piece of it all. But you've got to commit to getting out there and sharing this information at least 15 times a month. In the beginning, the people are going to be all yours because you don't have a team yet established to pull from in helping other people. But trust me, as your business grows and you get other people linking arms with you, 15 presentations a month will turn into 15 a day or a week or every other day or whatever. It won't be a problem. So don't let that feel like a huge number to you because trust me, it really isn't. They don't have to be hours and hours, but you got to tell people why you're excited, your story, what drew you to this, what is a little bit about LifeVantage. You don't need to know all the details, and you need to be able to explain on a small level how people can monetize this. And you're going to hear more about each of those things this evening. You also need to commit to yourself into your journey into this business to attend events. Like this Saturday is our annual kickoff. It's a virtual event. It's free. You need to register with LifeVantage. It's Saturday morning, 10 Mountain Time. But if you can't watch it then, if as long as you're registered, you have 30 days to watch the replay whenever it's convenient. But you've got to get yourself educated. Even if you've been in the industry or in the health and wellness industry, this has some unique features and aspects to it. So you want to become an expert in this field. You also want to for sure be a person that always does what they say they're going to do. You want to have integrity. If you're thinking people are going to follow you, they're going to pivot right very, very quickly if you can't be trusted and you aren't a person of your word. And as your business grows, you will learn how to stay in control of your business because it can, and you want it to start growing out of your control, but there's a way to still maintain control in that business. And so that is something that will evolve. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to know it all to have success out of the gate. On this journey, it's learn as you go, but staying in control and leading your people by your own examples of showing up, doing what you say you're going to do, doing presentations, etc., and then committing to repeating until it's done. We've been repeating for 17 years. And let me tell you, it has led to so many beautiful people, like all of you that are on this call, and so many more. And the stories and the lives that we've had the benefit and privilege to touch is beyond anything I can imagine. I mean, Dave and I came from two different worlds. You'll hear from him later in the call. I had a mortgage company, he was in the engineering world, and here we are. And this is the most fun, rewarding thing that we have ever done. And so let's move along with this. I'm going to pass it over to my neighbor and good friend, Bert DeBrois, right up the road. So take it away. I think he's going to share about a presentation and do a deeper dive for you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Annie. JoJo, you are always all heart, girl. We love everything about you, and you are one fantastic leader, you and your hubby. So thank you very much. Um, Presentation, you guys. It's the heart and soul of this business, period. And a conversation, showing what we have and what it's all about. I've been part of LifeVantage now for 16 and a half years. And for 15 and a half years, it's been my sole income, guys. Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, I was able to replace my income in the first year. Of course, it was back in the days when our economy was hit. It was horrible. So I was looking for something to help my family's position. I had lost the way of taking care of my family. It was a bad time. So thank you, LifeVantage. Thank you, Greg Deeker, for bringing me into this. You guys and everybody has that same opportunity here. It's better today than it ever has been in LifeVantage. It's incredible. So my topic today is presentation. Like I said, that's the heart and soul of your business. If you don't present, guess what? you're not going to grow, period. and have fun at it. That's the main thing. Everything we do in this business, you got to have fun. You got to enjoy what you're doing. You got to give a persona of success and what our dreams and how we can help your dreams. I love that. So, presentation consists of three different components: your story, the company story, and how you get paid. Okay. Your story. Be passionate about what's going on in your life, what you vision, you see, and
Buddy. Paisley.
oh, excuse me, and just really threw me off. Anyway, um, believe in everything that this can do for you in your life, you guys. I mean, I'm not anything different than anybody else on this screen. I sold tow trucks and worked on tow trucks for 25 years. When that economy hit bottom, guess what? I lost my income. I was a straight commission salesman. It was horrible. And LifeVantage in 13 months, my income was down, but in 13 months I replaced it, a little over $100,000 a year, and that was fantastic. Okay, so I had nowhere to go but up with this company, and it was so much fun. So that's part of my story. This is a good way to help you replace your income, give freedom so you can be with your family and be a full-time parent. I remember Mark Harris one time talking about being on the school bus with his kids, looking around. There wasn't another dad on the bus, but he was there. How cool is that? That's what network marketing, that's what LifeVantage is all about, giving you those opportunities. Okay. Um, More quality of family time, home life. That is so important. I mean, today we have mom and dads that are working full time. They get home after a hard day of work, guess what? They're wore out. They don't have time to do what they should be doing with their kids, helping them with their homework, going out in the yard and playing a little bit, all those things that we need to do to build that family life, okay? So we have the availability to be able to help people get back to that fun things, all that quality of life. Okay. We're in front of a patented technology, you guys, that nobody else in the world has. Peer-reviewed research, everything about it is real. When you tell them anything about what we have, it's because it's been proven. Okay. That's incredible. I never thought I would be able to have something that nobody else in the world had. It's a patented product that is incredible in health and life and all of that. Okay. Second step is company story. What about the company? We were sold retail. Okay. We were in vitamin stores. We were advertising in Science Digest. They weren't doing too good. Okay. So we hired somebody to come in and look at what we were doing. And he said, this thing's got to go network marketing. I'm sorry. I know you don't believe in that, but that's what it's got to do. It's got to be word of mouth coming from you to your friends, your neighbors, your family. That's what this business is all about. Helping people that we love and care about. Okay. John Quinones did an ABC primetime. How incredible, guys. I know everybody on here's seen that, but what a tool. That's what I always start off with. Let them see that ABC primetime, see that validation. He came in to prove us wrong. And guess what? He proved us right. How cool is that? So that is just so solid. And then how you get paid. Now that's the time we go to our tools, okay, in our Terra sheet. Okay, you've got your Terra sheet here. It talks about linear income and leveraged income right here. Learn this, guys. That's important. Very important. Okay, and it's in your tool book. All right. Second thing, or the thing I go to a lot of times just first, is the income disclosure statement right in your book. I'll get it in the screen here in a minute. There you go. I mean, that's your income disclosure statement. You go, you have them look at this, and you point at this third line, and you go, what income would start to make a difference in your life? Put a plan together with them for achieving that goal. How do you do that? You go through the rest of the book, you start learning all the different ways to talk about the presentation. This is a great way for a person to just walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and just share it and learn it, guys. I promise you that will grow your business beyond means. And next but not least is record the key points of the person in your calendar. Okay, keep a paper calendar. Find out what their hot points, what their key was, to what they were excited about, so you don't forget. Okay, and make sure you write that all down in there after the meeting. How everything went, what their preference was. Yeah, if they want to just be a customer. Some people are scared to death of networking, guys. They just don't know. It's fun. It's exciting. You can have a blast doing it. Okay, so record all the key points, their interest level, find out what they want, what their key points are, set the follow up within 48 hours. Very, very important. If you do those few things and follow the building depth principles, you will be more successful than you can ever imagine. So I get to turn it over to, I didn't even look, darn it. I get to turn it over to Chris Smith. And what's more important, the best compensation plan in the world. All yours, Chris.
Hey, thank you, Bert. Hey, great job. And yeah, this is someone's thinking when they line these things up, right? Because that's some of the things Bert pointed to around compensation. It's exactly where I was going to go. Our income disclosure and some of those weapons. I like that kind of stuff. I had no experience in network marketing or direct sales. As Cynthia Greenawalt, when she opened up, talked about, some of us come here not with no understanding of the industry. My background, when this was introduced to me, I was in construction. I was working long days. Sarah and I, our daughter was 2 years old at the time, and I wasn't participating in my family's life. I didn't have a avenue that was going to bring me there. And actually, when this was first dropped on us, as Bert kind of rounded out all that information, you do want to tell the whole story like that. But I didn't really see it exactly then at that point in time. But luckily, because all that information was dropped on me, when I kind of had my keyway moment, mainly around one of the products, Protandem, I was able to kind of start thinking about compensation because someone had painted a picture for me around leveraged income. Bert talked about how important that was, the difference between leveraged income and linear income. And so once all that came together for me, I realized, okay, I kind of do want to be part of this company. So I just want to share with you just a few things. Bert showed where those resources are accessed in our Building Depth workbook. So if you flip that workbook open, it's literally a ready-made presentation for however deep you want to get into looking at the compensation plan. But here's our website. And if you scroll to the bottom, and there's a number of ways to find all these resources. You can go to Evolve to look at the comp plan, but resources right here will bring you to a page where you're going to have all these documents at hand. The compensation plan is going to roll out, like it does in the workbook, show the tables of all how the bonuses pay and all the percentages. But I think the real weapon is that income disclosure, which is right over here. And as Bert noted, just pointing to a number for someone. I'll even pull this up. Being able to understand this document and how it applies to leveraged income and this monthly this average monthly income here in this third column over, we know what it takes to get to these ranks, and that's what we're painting the vision. We let someone else point the number that would make a difference in their life, and then we can go over here to this first column and realize, hey, I know someone at this rank, or maybe you are of that rank, and that's how we kind of leverage each other as team members here in network marketing to help explain the compensation plan, demonstrate it, jump on a meeting where we know someone at a very high rank is talking, and we're going to hear some of their story. So that's how you access these resources. But I do want to say this, is that it's not requisite to understand the compensation plan to get it to pay. What's more important is you do those meetings, like Joanne talked about. There's a system here, and there's a metric, a number of meetings, some consistency, along with some other things that you need to do in your business. Because I do know people in the executive ranks that have actually been in the executive ranks of this company for a long, long time that don't really have any understanding specifically of the details of the percentages of the bonuses and how everything breaks down in the compensation plan, but they probably made hundreds of thousands, if not over $1 million with this company. So not important to understand those resources, but what I like about that is for the very few people you talk to that really, really need to drill down on that stuff and those details, we have, or at least I feel like I have somewhere I can point towards. And then maybe you open that stuff up and look at it with them. So I think that's really important that we have those resources that we can point towards rather than try to understand everything before we plow into it. And kind of moving out of this topic, I would say I'm being with this company since 2012. I didn't share a ton of our story coming in, but I'm going to pass it over to my partner, which she'll fill in some details with that. But since 2012, and all the people I've met and the meetings I've been at and discussions I've had very, very few people, and all those thousands and thousands of people that want to drill down on every detail of the compensation plan. They want to understand what that vision of leveraged income can look like. And I think it's more than just a compensation plan. I think it's lining up everything, again, that Bert was talking about, that we need to talk about in a presentation, discuss with people about how important a product is, how important growth potential in a company is, how important it is to be part of a community of mentorship like we have here, and a system that someone can actually plug into that and build a team, an executive team that's never done this business before. There's several of us there. So there's a lot of factors that line up to make compensation actually, that notion of it that exists in network marketing, actually work here for a lot of people. And you're hearing from them tonight. And I'm going to pass it over to one now that's really important in my life, because she's the one that immediately recognized that this was a vehicle for our family. In that very first meeting, when it was laid out, especially when they got to the point of how you get paid in this business, she was very excited, and she saw this as moving our family forward. And you know what? That was whatever, back in 2012, and she was absolutely 100% right. I'm forever grateful for that I was sitting right next to her at that meeting. So with that,
did everybody catch that? She was
partner.
Absolutely right.
100%,
okay.
more than if you can be.
Oh, I love this.
It's in the record book. We got it.
It's in the books. Thank you for that introduction, Mr. Chris Smith. Yes, I'm Sarah coming in. We're coming in from Liberty, Utah, and been with LifeVantage for 14 years. My background being in the healing arts as a medical massage therapist, kind of world traveler. I don't know. I feel like a free spirit, and I finally landed. And you guys, I've always been searching for a home. Like, I would move every 2 years because I didn't feel like it was my home. And I realized that, one, we have to find the home within ourselves, but two, it's really with our passion and our purpose. And as soon as I found that, I could settle down pretty much anywhere. So my topic tonight is staying in control of your business. And I love this topic because when you are brand new, so by the way, if you're brand new to this call, welcome. We're excited to have you here tonight. And, you know, if you're hearing staying in control and you're just getting your business started, it's totally okay. You have to stay in control of you. And what does that look like? It's literally control, are you doing the behaviors? Are you showing up to events? Are you making your list and knowing what's coming up and inviting people? It's your personal actions and your integrity to those that actually is the most important step to staying in control of your business. You're going to want to stay in control of your emotions because when all of us, like the rejection rocket hits us. And, for a lot of people, if somebody says no, just know, you guys, it's no, not for now. They're going to watch you succeed and they're going to turn around and say, okay, wait, can you tell me about this thing again? And because we're in an industry that we're pioneering, honestly, we're pioneering the up leveling of the industry. We are the example of that. We're pioneering an invention and an innovation that no one really knows about. We're first in the activation space. So, of course, we're going to have a lot of eyebrows go up, but they're less going up now than there were when we started 14 years ago. I will say that people are ready for this, you guys. We are ready. So, keeping the zen of network marketing, like really monitoring your highs and lows. Like you don't want to take things too high and be too excited about something because you're going to get let down. It's about that zen, kind of that middle of the road emotional space of being detached. Okay. Staying in control of your business is really managing yourself versus managing your team. We're not here to be somebody's boss, okay? We're here to actually be the wind beneath their wings. We're here to actually transfer the skills and get them up and running. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it's really about like when someone starts managing you, you didn't show up to network marketing really to have somebody telling you what to do or how to do it. It's really about, supporting your team. But the most important thing is they're watching what you do. So staying in control is really, again, being the example, setting that example, showing up to the events and really doing the behaviors. And another aspect of staying in control, because we are, we have a volunteer army. Like they could just go anywhere at any time and say, all right, see you later. Like how do you stay in control of attrition and how do you stay in control? It's your relationships. It's so important to be like front and center and show your heart, give your love, let people know, like, be that glue in your organization where you might not get along with everyone if you have a presidential team, but you find the people that you resonate with and you really pour into them and you develop those relationships. So we, as an executive team right here, our Building Depth leadership team, being like making a bigger impact, it relies on all of our relationships because what I say might not resonate with someone on my team, but what Summer Smolik says would. So it's like, it's again, like the relationships are really key. And then, we just really need to be in alignment. We need to remember, that, staying in control does not mean trying to control the team. It means like pay attention to yourself, get yourself straight, get your disciplines in line and be that example. So with that, I get to pass this over to Las Vegas to my brother from another mother, Mr. Rob Smolik. You guys, he is an amazing entrepreneur. He's had an incredible life. Like with the value he adds to everyone on this call is just hands down some of the best. So get ready to take some notes and over to you, Rob Smolik.
Thank you, Sarah. Awesome, my dear. I can't wait to see you here shortly. Hey guys, welcome everybody. For me, it was like, I think every one of us has moments in our life where you hear that little whisper, right? That little whisper in your ear. And for some people, that whisper turns into something a heck of a lot more, right? Greater purpose, greater meaning, greater possibilities. And for those people that actually choose to listen to that, and me and my wife do, because we know where that comes from. For us, with our faith, we know where that whisper comes from. And we do not shy away from going after our goals and dreams. We don't let fear and doubt keep us from doing anything. And I think a lot of people, because my topic is follow-up, a lot of people, you guys are terrified to follow up with people. because they're so afraid of rejection. You know, you guys you're in sales whether you like it or not, right? And there's time to do it and there's time not to do it. Like I was in sales when I was courting this beautiful little blonde next to me. I was in top sales, probably the best sales I've ever done because I definitely married up. Um, and there's time to do it and when not to do it, right? Like I've got a good friend on this call. He's kind of like mine and Summer's hunting partner. We met through another brother from another mother, but I remember sitting with him at lunch when me and Keith Kelsey were having lunch with our friend Dennis, and this guy was on the phone the entire time we were eating lunch. Like he'd go to eat and then he'd get a call. He'd go to eat and go to get a call. And then I find out what he does. He's busy. Like he is in sales. He's got a big, massive moving company. Like he's go, go, go. But then, you know, a month and a half later, me and my wife are sitting in a hunting blind with him in Ohio. And man, I think he shut his phone off because my little daughter probably would have throat punched him because we were waiting for deer. And if Dennis would have got on the phone, Gabriella might have reached back and gave him a backhand. And so there is times to do it, one times not to do it. Like when we go out to dinner as a family, you know, that selling motor sometimes ain't on me, but I am always looking for follow-up. And a lot of times, you guys, for me in Summer, we don't even have to get to the follow-up because when we're presenting this opportunity to people, we're taking away their excuses and whatever questions they have during our presentation. And when I look at their posture, when I look at them in the eyes and I say, you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, well, then we just pull out a computer ourselves and we sign them up. You're ready to get going right now. I don't have to go through the 25 steps to just set the follow-up and go back and get them the videos and blah, 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 blah. Guys, because most successful people make decisions very quickly. People that struggle in life take forever to make a decision. If they finally do make that decision, they're constantly changing it because fear and doubt. And I run into people like that every day, and it breaks my heart. Because like I said, you guys, every one of you have heard that whisper in your ear that there's so much greater out there for you. And mine and Summer's whole goal was just to make this place a better world, to go help as many people as we can. We help thousands of people, tens of thousands of people a month. And that has been our sole goal. So the follow-up, a lot of times we don't even get to it, but the fortune is in the follow-up, right? If you're not willing to do the follow-up, don't even present to anybody. But when we go into an actual follow-up, I already assume that they're going to be my business partner. When I present this, I assume they're going to be my business partner. They might not say yes then, but they will be 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4 years down the line because I keep dripping on them over time because I know that I could help them. I know that I could help change their life, right? And I would want them to be a part of my life. Like I don't share this with everybody. I share this with people that I would love to have as business partners, that I know locking arms together, we can make a serious impact on this crazy world right now, right? And we can lead them into a faith-based thing. We can lead them into so many different avenues of their life. And that's what me and Summer are so focused on, guys. You've got to do the follow-up. When we do that, and I heard Bert say that, you guys, when he was laying this out in the presentation, when I share this with somebody and I'm setting the follow-up up, I'm setting a follow-up after a follow-up after a follow-up. Until they either tell me, Rob, just quit bugging me, I want nothing to do with this, I will continue to follow up with them. It might not even be about the business. I might just reach out to see how they're doing because I generally do love people and I want to know how they're doing in life. Because a lot of times they'll say, hey, Rob, I've got this business I'm looking at, or I've got this or this investment. What do you think? I want to be there to help them. When I signed on the dotted line to be a partner in this business, I said I will help people till the day I die. And me and Summer do that every day. So you've got to follow up, guys. When I wake up every morning, and you guys heard me say this, when my foot hits the ground, when I get out of bed, the devil says, oh crap, he's up again, is because he knows I'm going to go out there and change lives. And this one's even bigger. This one really, I built a lot of my wealth, you guys, with a chip on my shoulder. I was born in a very poor family. There's days I didn't eat growing up, right? There's literally days I didn't eat. Got teased a lot, got made fun of a lot. I fought a lot because when you would make fun of me, I would just punch you. And I was always the smallest kid. So I figured if I got the first shot in, somebody bigger would step in before I got killed. And so I was always the one punch wonder, right? But being teased and being shot down a lot gave me that drive. It's what motivated me to prove people wrong. And so when those doors were closing behind me, I made it a point to go back and buy the building. And I physically have done that. I've gotten turned down loads from banks where I went back and bought the bank. So when people tell me no, it's not no right now on that follow-up. It's just no because there's something here. There's something keeping them from jumping forward. There's something keeping them, holding them back. And most of the time it is fear and doubt. So we try to take that away from the follow-up too, you guys. The follow-up is so important. There's so many things you can go into. This could be a 2-hour topic, but I'm going to pass this over to Lily, my ride or die right here. She's the love of my life. She always says I'm the greatest man in the world. Guys, I was honestly just an ordinary guy that fell in love with an extraordinary woman. And she changed my life. Go, babe.
I love you.
Summer Smollett, guy.
Oh my gosh. With the greatest little girl who's making slime. Just don't get it on the carpet. But okay. Well, so I just want to say congratulations to every single one of you guys on this call, because it was the calls like this and the people that were on these calls and teaching on these calls that completely changed the trajectory of our life. And I am so grateful for every single one of you, because all the executives that are teaching and all you other leaders that are on this call, thank you. Thank you for continuing to show up. Because when Rob shared this with me, you guys, I was burnt out. Have you guys ever experienced burnout before? I was drinking 10 to 15 cups of coffee just to get myself out of bed in the morning. Now, granted, I liked my job. It was fine. Don't ever ask a woman how she's doing if she tells you fine. It's probably not fine. So everything was fine until it wasn't, where I was working 80, 90 hours a week as a medical device rep. And I just traveling 4 states. The longest I was home in about a 15-year period was a week and a half. So if you can imagine the amount of nights that I stayed in a hotel room. And I met Rob, and he shared this beautiful gift of LifeVantage with me, which things happen for a reason, and people come into your life for a reason. And he says to me after I came home from North Dakota, okay, listen, we're going to go to an event tomorrow. There's a training, and it's in Missoula, and it's 3 hours away one way. Did you guys know that I just drove about 1,500 miles in a 5-day period? And now Rob wants to take me to some stupid training or whatever it happens to be. And I've only been involved a week, and it doesn't matter to me, and I don't care, and I'm tired. And there's no me and there's no we in you. You go, I don't. So that was my attitude, you guys. So we hostage negotiated. And since we had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, as long as he stopped to get me a coffee and I could wear a baseball hat, I'd be fine. I went kicking and screaming, and it was the greatest decision I'd ever made in my entire life, you guys, because what I learned and what was put in front of me, a higher vision, blew me away. And the reason why I tell you that, because I'm sure you've been on these calls, you've been on these trainings where you have thought to yourself, oh my gosh, so-and-so needed to hear that. So-and-so needed to see that. So I wish whoever it was would sit next to me and hear that and be a part of it. Conviction. I caught the vision that one day, and then I kept showing up. Rob and I kept showing up to absolutely everything. Conviction. I don't ask people to come. My topic is promoting. I don't ask them to come. I tell them to come because they don't know what they're missing out on. Come with me. But you have to lead by example. Don't miss a thing. You have to learn how to do this. Not only you, but the people in your team, because it's not always about you. It's never about you. It is about helping as many people as you possibly can. And it's going to be the people that are on this call that are going to help lead the way, so you guys can build the dream, or build your business, your life, the way that you've always dreamt of. But that you have to attend. So it starts with you leading by example, and then with conviction and excitement. Let people know day in and day out, when you're sharing this with people, when you're sharing the information with them, following up, you're letting them know what the next event happens to be. And guess what? It's going to be easy for you to say, come with me, because guess what? You're going to go. I have never met an executive in LifeVantage that has missed an event. They've gone to all of them. Maybe ones or twosies. I did miss one because Gabriella was 3 days old and they wouldn't let me get on an airplane. But there's things like that happen in your life. But you guys, with conviction, bring people with you. Show them the way. Show them the way. This is the greatest gift. We all got you. This is the greatest gift that we could provide for people. So I'm so excited for you. And now I'm going to pass this over to one of the most brilliant women I've ever met in my entire life. Like, she's so brilliant. I'm like, I don't even understand what she says sometimes because she's so brilliant. And her brain goes, and I'm so grateful for her knowledge, her experience, her leadership. And I'm going to pass this over to Miss Cynthia Greenewalt, who is my sister from another mister. I love you dearly. My dear, take it away.
Thank you, Ms. Summer and Rob, both of you in that square. I don't know how that little square can contain so much power and energy. I am grateful. Yes, I mentioned earlier I'm broadcasting from the Philadelphia area. My topic is overcoming objections. Before I jump into that, I'll just give a quick, where was I? What was happening when I was taking a look at this 7.5 years ago? It was actually Sarah Smith, who you heard from earlier. She was I was doing coaching programs, and she was one of my coaching clients, and we became soul sisters through that process. She asked me to take a look at what she was working on. I started out as a raving fan cheerleader. I was starting to send referrals to her. I wasn't going to do the business because about 1/3 of my clients were from 12 different network marketing companies. So I couldn't join a company. I would lose 1/3 of my business. So I was just so moved. I'd never seen a network marketing company in 30 years that was publicly traded with inventions and clinical studies that were peer reviewed. I just was completely amazed. And I said to her, if anyone I ever know is thinking of doing network marketing, this is the only company that I could ever send them to. And I started doing that, and then ended up coming to an event at headquarters and brought a couple of my big visionary friends who'd been in network marketing before as sort of my advisory tire kicking crew. And I realized, darn it, I like this. I had some other plans. And I realized that this was something I was asking for, but it came in a form I wasn't ready. I didn't think network marketing was going to be the industry. I thought I was going to be a consultant for that industry worldwide. And now I get to make a difference in the industry. You heard it right at the beginning. We're pioneering a whole new example of what is possible. We're raising the bar of an industry that I love dearly. And I've just seen people mess it up. So for me to be part of a company that's doing it with integrity and doing it with something that also has a radical impact on human health and longevity was when I said, okay, I'm doing this. And then I looked and I found out Building Depth could teach my team in a matter of maybe 2 weekends, because 3 weekends a year we do our Building Depth weekends. I was like, this took me 30 years to learn from all these different mentors over the course of my career. And I thought, wow, my friends who've never done this industry can get a total download. In 2 weekends, they can begin to have mastery in something that took me years and years and years. And I realized I could never teach my team what I'd learned in decades, but you all, as the executive and presidential team, could teach my team. So that's what had me be bowled over, just like my sponsors who've never done the industry love this for similar reasons. So let me just talk briefly about this idea of overcoming objections. I think the key is to transform our relationship to what we think objection is. When we receive an objection, we can either think they're rejecting us. Instead, think of it like, oh, they're sorting out, they're grappling. I think of it as if we're bringing them new thinking, scientific discovery, turning on the body to do what it was programmed to do before we turned 20, helping the average person build a business that would really take multiple franchises. Being a presidential, to make that kind of money in traditional business, I'd have to buy 5 McDonald's. That's what it takes to make 7 figures in the franchise restaurant world. You have to buy 5 McDonald's. That's $2 million each. That's $10 million investment for me to make the equivalent of a presidential consultant. That means I'm able to teach the average person with very little reserves, maybe even no reserves, to build a business that would take someone $10 million in the traditional model. And that just moves me because it means I'm leading a movement. So when I'm sharing something radical or new or never been done, they're going to have resistance. It's more like they're trying to get their synapses around what we're saying because they've never heard anybody say it. So we have to be compassionate with that process. We have to have a lot of compassion for their grappling. So think of objections as they're grappling. And they're grappling with what? Something very pioneering. So that's my invitation. I mean, can you imagine when my Federal Express, Fred Smith said overnight shipping, and his Yale professor, that was his thesis for his master's program. The guy said, gave him a C, it was I think a C minus, and said, this is the worst idea, never could happen. And Fred Smith just said, okay. So that was him, just like the objection didn't affect him, because first we are bulletproof, we build our belief, and then we have compassion for the other person's process of grappling and being unshakable, or what one of my mentors said, be unmessable with. They can't mess with me. They can say whatever they want and they can't mess with me, because my why is strong. I have a system that's bulletproof. I have mentors that back me when I, get freaked out, and I call Sarah and Chris, like, walk me off the ledge. I'm upset and I'm freaking out. And they, calm me down. And a few minutes later, I'm back connected to my why, reminded of my value and my commitment to make a difference in a big way. And this is the vehicle that has allowed me to contribute in ways I never thought I could in my lifetime. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to the next person, as I always end up being all teary-eyed and moved. And this woman is extraordinary. Every single person you've heard from is just the bomb. Candy Kreslak, I'm going to hand it over to you. This is, again, these like soul sisters, these family of choice. And Candy's story is one of my favorite stories to tell. And you are in Minnesota, I imagine, unless you're traveling. Come on, girl, and light up the room. Over to you.
Oh, I love you, Cynthia. That was amazing. Are you guys excited? Like, this is my favorite call. These executives are like, this call and the building depth system is why I made it to where I'm at. I mean, these leaders pouring into us every, the first and third Tuesday of every month, and then quarterly at Building Depth. I'm like, you got to be here. You guys get everybody that you know on these calls, because this is a place to be. I want to take you back and tell you a little bit about my story, and then I'll go into my topic. But I have been a part of LifeVantage for a little over 6 years. My background, I was a registered nurse, and I have 4 kids, married to my high school sweetheart. We are just recently, we became grandparents, which is like the most amazing thing ever. So, but I want to take you back 6 years ago, because my life didn't look the same 6 years ago. I was exhausted. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I needed a change in my life, but I didn't know what that was. And I know that you all know people, or maybe it's you, that feels like that. You feel like you're surviving. You feel like you're in that hamster wheel and you can't get out of it, right? I met this beautiful woman, Summer Smolik, who shared this information with me 6 years ago. And instantly I knew, I saw a vision of being able to help more people in a bigger way, because I saw a lack in the medical system. I saw that it was a reactive system, and I wanted to help people in a bigger way, but I also desperately wanted time back in my life with my family, because as a registered nurse, most of my career was 70, 80, 90 hours of work a week, right? A lot of you can probably relate to that, because we're all grinding people. There's too much month at the end of the money. Most people are struggling financially in the United States, and I wanted more time so desperately, because I couldn't imagine missing out on another moment with my family. And so my topic tonight, you guys, is the invite, which is so important. You guys, you don't have a business if you can't learn how to invite. But I remember when I started this, that was the scariest part. Actually, everything was scary. Like, do you feel like that? Everything was scary in this industry. I had never done this before, and it was truly like getting out of my comfort zone every single day, because I knew why I was doing this, and I could see the vision of what I wanted, and I could see the impact that I wanted to have. And I knew that this was my vehicle to be able to do that. But you guys, that invite was so scary. And I remember Robin Summer just like giving us these examples of invites, like, I have a project I'm working on. I want to get your opinion on it. And, I would send that and I'd get a response back to me saying, have you been hacked? Like, because I was so scared that I was just taking these cookie cutter invites and I wasn't making them my own. I wasn't being authentic. I was just sending out these scripts to people that they knew that that wasn't me. So I want you guys, I really encourage you guys to really listen more than you talk. Get to know the person that you're gonna invite, right? And then you can, every one of my invites now is different. I don't use a cookie cutter, but the most important invite is the one that you do. And I think that if you're showing up in your heart space and you're really listening to people, it's going to give you the opportunity to say, hey, if I had something that could help you with what you're going through, would you give me 30 minutes of your time? Think about when, before you push send, if you're sending a text invite, think about read that text out loud first and think about how that would make you feel. And if that text doesn't make you feel good, it's probably not going to make the person feel good that you're sending that message to. So really take that into consideration. Making some deposits, you guys, make those deposits before you make the withdrawals, because you can't just ask somebody for something. You know, they think that you're just trying to sell them something. You got to make deposits. You got to show up for people in a different way. And then people will start coming to you. Sorry, I have a dog trying to knock over my computer. But there's so many different ways. I love Joanne Madison. She taught me my most favorite invite. The invite that she uses, no matter what anybody says to her, maybe they're struggling financially, maybe they don't have time with their family, maybe they are looking for better health. And she just says, I help people with that. I help people with that. Like, isn't that genius? Like, she is such a genius. So there's so many different invites, you guys, but you don't have a business unless you learn how to invite. And I promise you, you're going to be bad before you're good, and you're going to be good before you're great. And that's okay. But practice, you have to practice all of these skill sets to get great at all of them, right? So now I get the honor of introducing this incredible mentor and leader. I had the opportunity to stay at Dave and Joanne Madison's house about a month ago, and we did a meeting together in their home, beautiful home in Colorado, and just them pouring into us. And we learned so much, and it was so nice just to be in their presence and just to realize too, you guys, that we're all just real people. We all have a vision and a dream and a goal, and we all have a servant heart and want to help people. And to be able to sit shoulder to shoulder with Joanne and Dave was incredible. So the next speaker is Dave Madison.
Thank you, Candy. That was wonderful, hon. Thank you so much. It was a joy to have Paul here too, man. He could definitely kick back, and the four of us, oh my gosh, they kept us up all night. Let's put it that way. They were just having way too much fun. Like, it's 1 o'clock. Let's go. We tend to have the mindset of let's push 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. So when we have something going down and it's getting rougher, our comment in our family is we're up to 12 pounds, which means hold on to the rails because it's happening. Something's rolling right now. So we don't really have a whole lot of, we have a lot of forgiveness for ourselves and for others, but we don't have a lot of, I allow the excuse attitude. Everything I spin is in a direction that's going to move them out of their quote unquote mental position at the moment. Right now, we've got a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old that are playing the match game because, you know, we've been gone for a month traveling, doing business, and doing holiday, and I bribe my daughter and say, can we take the boys for the night? Come on, right? This is something that when you have some of the oomph in your life, like so many people have already mentioned tonight, a lot of it comes from a lot of our background of growing up. And I have a lot of similarities to many that are on this call. That's why I call them dear friends and also mentors. But when I'm referring to the subject matter of always doing what you say you're going to do. And I've always had a real challenge with that because I was taught by my dad at a very young age, if you've committed to doing something, you do it. In fact, the first time similar stories somewhere in Rob. But when I met Marcel and Tyler, it was literally a no, honey, I'm taking you to Vegas for your retirement party. And I'm like, I'm not a Vegas fan. I don't gamble, I don't like smoke, and I don't like girly shows. And I'm like, why am I going to Vegas? And she goes, because I'm taking you there on your retirement party. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. The bummer, Rob, was I had roommates. I mean, come on. I mean, I was going backwards fast. But yeah, I was able to meet those people because when she said I already bought you a ticket, and I said, did you tell them that we're coming? And she said yes, and I'm referring to Tyler and Marcel. I told them that we're coming, then we're going. It was never even a question. It was never even a debate. It wasn't hard for me to rationalize spending the money. Do I like Vegas? None of that mattered. It was she had already committed, and we are one. So that means I'm committed. So I've never had a problem with this mindset. Okay, but this is how it's going to parlay into your business because we are in a trust business. Like Rob says, we're all salesmen. There's no question about it. I married up too, but everything we do is in sales. Everything you do is to bring a message forward to somebody, convince them that you're in the right directive. It doesn't mean that you're trying to make the big buck on them. There are sales guys that do the sales pitch. Go visit a timeshare, and they're the trained professionals. Okay, but when you're in a success line of relationships like you are in this industry, we have an easy way to say no to them because they have nothing on us. We know our confidence level is at the level that is required to create success in business, regardless of what industry we're even in. So in this format, what we're overcoming in our field is often what we have to teach our new people. The people that have not grown up in an environment where their word is their magic. Their word is their dollar. It's the handshake that's worth more than the contract. It's those kinds of people that have some strain of their life that was birthed into that process that we get to pull it out. Because everybody would rather tell the truth than to tell the lie. It's you have to be a whole lot smarter to tell the lie. It's easier to tell the truth. So if you stand with righteousness, now you have the ability to move them forward in the same mindset that you don't have to argue over whether they're right or wrong. You're in a place where they already trust you. Hence the reason why Building Depth exists. We have this vehicle of nuts and bolts training to allow you and I to immediately capture people in depth organizations by meeting their neighbor, meeting the friend that just came over for a beer, meeting the secretary in their office when you're in front of the front person, right? So somehow, some way, we have to turn on our smile. We have to put ourselves in a place where we're going to be the positive influence in someone's life. And it starts every day, like Rob says. Every day is when that starts. And over time, that's where you, in your principles of, I'm always going to do what I'm saying I'm going to do, and I'm not going to defer it to something else. I am not going to give a moment's opportunity for someone to be skeptical of my word. Now I've got an opportunity to build a foundational business. There isn't anybody that's had any business that does not want to have this as a foundational element of their profile of business. I don't care what their business is. It's an area of trust. So we are in the trust business. It's why many of us on this call have had more success in our first couple of meetings than we did in our last couple of meetings. Why? Because we had a reputation already existing with that person that granted a level of trust that brought them to the table. They didn't ask a whole lot of questions. They were participating with you right off the bat. So every day you're going to continue to start that process, and that process starts at this moment. What are you going to do to bring joy to someone's life? So now you can build a relationship so then they gain trust in you. So now you can parlay that forward to pay them the best benefit they're ever going to see. And that is called LifeVantage. So, with that, I applaud everyone that has already spoken. This has been a great, great call. I appreciate everyone's attention. I'm super glad that so many people are here with us tonight. And I'm gonna push this back into our wonderful host, Cynthia. Thank you so much for taking the bull by the horns on this call tonight. I appreciate you so much, dear.
Ah,
Blessings.
thank you, all of you, Dave, and every single member of this panel. You knocked my socks off. And we do have a special treat because if it's possible for one of our presidentials to swing by and share some words of wisdom, we love having that occasion. And we are so fortunate that Presidential Marcel Niederhauser is in the house, in the houser. We have Marcel. I'm so happy you're here. Please take it away. You've been a huge mentor and inspiration to all of us. And it's just a joy that you're taking time out of your evening to join us on this call, and thank you, and over to you.
Well, thank you, Cynthia. I so many times appreciate it. And what a wonderful night that we've got to spend together so far. And I love to sit here and listen to words of wisdom and the experience that these guys have had that they're sharing with you. Everything that was done tonight and everything that we do when we get together in St. George is to help you build your business. And first of all, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I don't know what resolutions you guys made, but we are in 2026. This is our first kickoff call. I'm excited to be on that. And I kind of want to talk to everybody on here. My gut tells me the fact that you're here is because you're wanting to learn, you're wanting to know. The question I have, how many of you are like really serious about this year being different for you? Put a one down in the chat or nod your head. A lot of people don't have their cameras on, so I can't see their faces. But if I share something with you that you've never heard before, that's the secret, will you do it? I mean, I'm going to give you something so easy to do. Will you guys make a commitment with me right now that before 2026 is over, you will take advantage of this challenge that I'm going to give you? And I'm meaning this from the bottom of my heart. Like, if you want this, we want you to have it. We're going to make ourselves available throughout this year to make that happen for you. But bottom line is, there's things that you're going to have to do. So here's what I thought is going to be my advice getting started. I'm going to read to you 5 things. And I want you, and those 5 things that I read to you, I want you to just pick one of them. I just want you to pick one that you're going to work on the next 90 days and be 100% faithful and sold out and committed to that one. And then once you do that, then I want you to pick another one. And what I want you guys to do, it would be better if you did all 5, but let's just simplify this. Let's just get good at one thing at a time. And those of you that want to do 2, that's fine. But I'm just sitting in my mind, I'm thinking, what can I say? The pathway for you to get from where you're at to where you want to be is these 5 things. There is nothing anybody's going to be able to write on a piece of paper that you can say to somebody else that's going to make this happen. Does that make sense? There's nobody that's going to be able to do it for you. There is a lot of people that are going to do it with you, but I'm telling you. Now, one other thing, the first one I'm going to read to you, if you never do that one, then the other 4 don't matter, if that makes sense. Other than you can get a very good education and belief in yourself and be in a very positive environment. But in order to build an income that comes in every single month, the first one's pretty vital. But if you're already good at one of these, I want you to pick one you're not so good at. So I'll talk about them individually. So the first thing is you're going to share this information. Now remember, I said you've never heard this before. You're going to share this 15 times or more a month. And you're going to tell your story and the company story and how you get paid. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each one as I bring them up. That one is crucial because that's the one that exposes you to where and how you're going to build your foundation. Now, I do want to encourage you, if you're not real comfortable in doing those meetings by yourself right now, I still want you to do them, but get some help from your upline. But when I mention this one, and if you pick this one, this is the one you're going to focus on for the next 90 days, then whether you're doing them or not, or whether you're having somebody do them, I just want you to commit that you're going to expose this information 15 times a month, no matter how you get it done. And let me reiterate, your story, company story, and how you get paid. And I heard tonight we talked about products. Sometimes we talk about circles. Sometimes we talk about compensation. Those are the highlights of the information that you're giving to people so that they can make a decision. Okay, so if you pick this one, matter of fact, I just want, if this is the one you pick, when I talk about the one that you're going to pick, that you're going to focus on for the next 90 days, I want you to put that number down in the chat. So 15 or more a month, that's number one. The second one is attend all the events. Okay, so here's my thought on that. If you're going to pick that one and you're going to make a commitment to doing all the events, then what I want you to do is I want you to get registered for all of them that you can right now. All corporate events and all building depth events and all the LVA events, if that pertains to your area. That's my little nugget on sharing with you how you make that commitment. See, there is so much power. I heard Dave talking about, always do what you say you're going to do, and how his father taught him that. And there's so much power in when we make a commitment. So much power. It moves you. And I'm pleading. This year was freaking amazing for me because I did what I'm telling you to do. Financially, I don't have financial stress in my life. Like that, to be able to rid yourself of that disease, well, maybe it's not a disease, it's a luxury. No, to be able to be in that situation is unreal. I've done a lot of reflecting, and I do that every year. Another year goes by. I just got a year older. We got grandkids, we got this, we got that. But I started reflecting on how much gratitude I have in my heart for how my life has been blessed from this industry. And what a gift for somebody to be able to go inside something so complex as network marketing is, and breaking it down into some steps that nobody in this world cannot not do them. The only reason why they don't get done is because you choose not to do them. Or maybe you don't choose, you just procrastinate or give yourself reasons why you can't. Does that make sense? And so for me, this is why I have been blessed and I don't have a job, and that it's just, I just can't stress to you that there's money in this. Your effort will yield a result, and we will help you all along the way. But you've heard me say this before, if you don't do your part, our part won't matter. So if you're going to attend all the events, that's one that you're struggling with a little bit, then get registered right now for everything that you possibly can. And then the second that stuff is available, get registered, and then figure out how to get there. Does that make sense? Don't try to figure out how to get there first. Make the commitment, and then you'll be able to get there. And if you live and breathe and focus on these, you can't see them because it's blurry, but these 5 things in this workbook, and if you don't have a workbook, I'd get one. They're so powerful. But it says attend all events and treat as a priority. I've worked for people and I've owned my own business. When I worked for somebody, I wasn't as committed to the cause as I was when I owned my own business. And that's when I found for myself is if I like my landscaping business, if I worked it, I got paid. And so that was a unique thing for me to experience. So that when I got into this business with $1,000 buy-in, that I spent $50,000-$60,000 on equipment. Well, $20,000 for one lawnmower. I did landscape maintenance and we mowed properties like you can't even believe. One mower. I mean, they were cheaper then, but now they're like 20 grand, 8 grand, 15 grand, depending on what you buy. And I had to buy 5 or 6 of them. I had 3 crews going. And if one broke, I had to buy another one if I couldn't get them fixed in time. Because I couldn't tell the people, hey, in a couple weeks when they get my mower fixed, I'll be back to take care of your yard. That doesn't fly. So I had to invest the money. So when they came to me with this concept of network marketing, $1,000 to get involved, are you freaking? This ain't a business. You can't even treat that serious. There's no skin in the game. You don't lose anything if you don't do anything. And then a couple $100 a month for overhead. That was the product because you build the business, it pays you money, it pays for your product. Like I was fiberglass. Well, I can't even whatever. I was blown away that that's all it was. Like it didn't make sense to me. So you can see I struggle a little bit when somebody says that's a lot of money. That's a fair statement too, isn't it? That's fair for somebody to say that. But what you do after that is you teach them. They've never owned if they're saying that, they've never owned a business before. Does that make sense? So I had to learn that I had to educate that person and I had to show them how if they're going to make the investment, here's how you get your money back. You got to do work, right? And if you're going to spend money every month buying your product and traveling, here's how you get that back. Okay. So anyway, I'll get off on tangent. So if attending all the events, number 2 is what you're going to focus on, put a 2 down in the chat. And the thing about this wonderful stuff is we record these and Mikey's going to come back. We're going to have your name. We're going to have your commitment. We're going to call the governor of your city. We're going to tell him the commitments you made or whatever. I'm just kidding. Okay. Now here's number 3. This is a big one. Always do what you say you're going to do. And I got to agree with Dave on his comments on this earlier. And for me, my dad was killed when I was younger. And so I've been raised by somebody. I thought it was my dad until they told me it wasn't. I mean, I had a different last name. But I was just born with, if you say you're going to do something, it's a done deal. If you shake hands, that's better than a 17-page contract written by 15 lawyers. That, to me, that's a no-brainer. So I believe that we're born with that. I don't know how it gets screwed up as we age and get exposed to other people and have experiences and stuff like that. But I could not freaking believe how many people's word meant nothing to them. Getting into this industry when I started, it was freaking mind-blowing. And I have a strong personality, so I thought it was my job to fix them all. And when I tried to do that, when somebody's word's no good, you can't fix that. I tried. And then by the time I got done trying, I had to go find 5 more because I'd pissed the people off. And so look, I eat, breathe. These things are a part of my blood supply. They're in my cells. They're in my DNA. They're all over my body. These are the most magical things that have ever been given to a human being on planet Earth in the history of whatever you believe. Does that make sense? That's how powerful these are. These work every time when they're applied. It's just, here's A, here's B. The journey, everybody's going to be different. And that's why when you're struggling with some of these, some of them you can get help with. Some of them is something that you've got to overcome. See, you've heard me say this. This industry is the easiest thing you'll ever do. It's so easy, it'll make you sick to your stomach. But the change that we have to go through to make it easy is the most terrifying, horrifying, most painful thing somebody can go through. Because we've got to change. We got to get out of our comfort zone. We got to do things. Like I've said this so many times to you guys, speaking used to scare me to death. Like I'd rather be burnt by fire than have to speak in public. And yet now today, it doesn't seem like this really bothers me. And the fear that I was having, I go back and think of that and I go, where did that come from? False evidence appears real. That was so dumb of me to be fearful. I heard Candy. Gosh, what I don't know how she put it now. I kind of forgot, but she was just sharing like in the beginning, she wasn't, oh, I don't know how she said it. To me, what I heard when she was talking about contacting people and she didn't use the word authentic, but she wasn't direct and to the point. She was like more hinting around. And the first thing that came to my mind is that poor girl was scared. She didn't quite believe in what she was involved in. And that's what we do. And we worry so much about what people think about us. And I found out through life, my own experience, that they're not even thinking about you. Really, they're actually thinking about what you're thinking about them. So here we all are just thinking about what we're thinking about each other, and we're paralyzed for no reason at all. And okay, so that's number 3. So if you're struggling with that, always do what you say you're going to do. And that's when you're going to focus on. Remember, I'm reading 5 things. You guys are going to pick one that you're going to focus on the next 3 months, and you're going to put the number down in the thing. That's kind of the first thing. I want you to write it down too. And then I want you to write and put on your mirror what you're going to work on for the next 90 days. I want you to see it every single day. I want us to see it. I want you to see you writing it. And then I want you to put it and paste it. You can't even believe how powerful that is, because whatever weaknesses or fears we have, they're there 24/7. So we have to work on the things that we need to overcome them. And you have to remind yourself constantly. There's so much power in that. So number 4, always stay in control of your business. This one is a little bit more advanced. This is when you've got a group growing. This is when you've really got, so that's why I'm saying everybody's different here, but staying in control of your business, there's a million different ways to view that. But the way I've always looked at it is when I'm building my business, I'm building in width and then I'm building in depth. I'm building these tap roots. And the one thing I realized, the way compensation plans work, is when you get to the bottom of these legs, everybody's getting a check in there except for the brand new person. So I figured with my skill sets and the experience and my determination and my why, and I want the financial freedom that this industry brings, and I want to rank advance to the top of the company. I figured if I'm building 5 legs, there's enough time every month to work in 5 different spots. Now, that's the idea, is to work in 5 different spots, but sometimes you're working in more to find the 5 spots you want to work in. But I realized if I want to build a multi-billion-dollar company, business that scans the globe, and I don't want to have to be in every single one of those people's living rooms, I can build straight down, and I can always work in 5 places for the rest of my life, no matter how busy it gets, and go. And that's one of the things we teach you. Now that's a little bit more advanced. So I feel that some of you are ready to make a commitment to that one and focus on the next 90 days and stay. And so what your goal is to dumb it up a little bit more or make it a little bit more simpler is you want to get 2 or 3 levels deeper in each one of your legs over the next 90 days. That's what I would want you to focus on. So if number 4 is it, then make a commitment to that. And then this is tough for people too. And when we have fear and we're worried and whatever it is, promoting is hard for people. And I remember in the beginning, we just got them signed up. They spent $1,000. We're having a meeting in Florida. I got to get them to go there and then get a hotel and then get food and, all the stuff that goes on with it. And I struggled a little bit in the beginning, but the first time I went to one and I bring somebody with me and they did 10,000 times more stuff the next 90 days than they were doing prior, that was it for me. Or they went to it and said, oh my gosh, I can't believe what we got our hands on. I am sold out. I'm going to do this. It's 100% I'm committed. When I experience those things over and over, I have zero problem expecting, no matter how broke they are, people to figure out how to get there, if that makes sense. Because if they don't do these things, they already know how to be broke. In order to get unbroke, you have to actually do something different. Does that make sense? And I have watched our systems, the company advance. I've watched the building depth. I've watched each one of these leaders that spoke with you. I've had a personal experience watching them bring somebody that the light bulb turned on and everything changed for them. I've seen it for myself 1,000 times, and I've seen it with all these people on here over and over and over. And here's what's so awesome. I always use Rob and Summer, and I could probably use all of them, but they're pretty damn dynamic and they're pretty knowledgeable now. But in the very beginning, they questioned me a lot on everything I was telling them, and because it's too hard, it's too easy to understand, if that makes sense. And so I just remember having all these conversations with those two, and this is the best part. Sometimes it was soon, sometimes it was weeks, sometimes it was months, and sometimes it's been years. But the feedback after what is, and you were right. These things work. And now what the blessing out of all this is for me is when I'm on this call, listen to each one of these guys teach you, and I hear they own it. It's no more me teaching them and paving the way and showing them and always in their mind, do this. Don't focus on that. I'm never going to take my group to another corporate function. Yes, you are. Trust me, there's value there. Well, every time I do, I got to come home and retrain them. Just train them, trust in the system, and get them to the function, because the functions do something that changed. If that makes sense. That's just a little example. And I don't know, I get off on tangents. But what I'm telling you is this guy right here, I'm not guessing. I'm not wondering if this works. I know for a fact, and there's enough people on this call right now that have proven that. There's a lot of people that we've worked with and talked to that didn't do that. They won't do the 5 things. And then what they do is that didn't work. So we look at their calendar. They've done 3 meetings that month. You're right, it doesn't work because you're not doing your part. Does that make sense? It's like this is your key. And, we do everything we can to share this information with you, with all these different personalities and all these different perspectives and all these examples and all this experience that we've all had. But I thought tonight, you know what? It's New Year. Let's just get down to the brass roots. Everything they shared with you, you're going to learn by doing it. That's what's so amazing about doing these 5 things is you're going to own, understand, and live and succeed and be your own powerful leader that stands on your own 2 feet, that doesn't need anybody holding their hand. And we're going to form this amazing group of leadership that's going to take this company from where it is today to another higher level of billions of dollars. And then we're going to reap the benefits. And then instead of me going to Thailand and a few others, we all go. Are you guys okay if the company sends you on a trip every year? Is anybody against that? And then on the 15th of the month, they fill up your checking account. And then all of a sudden they keep filling it up that you can't spend it fast enough. That's what these 5 things will do for you. Like, I don't know if this has ever been broken down like this or if I'm just repeating myself. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, these in sequence. Now remember, if we don't do 1, 4, and 5, we just become the greatest person we could ever be. We just don't have the monthly check at the end of the month because we didn't build a foundation. And we are so eager and so excited. Like, I cannot wait to get to St. George. I cannot wait to rub shoulders with you that want to make a difference in your life. I can't wait to spend time with you. And the VIP program that we got going on, we're going on a cruise at the end of this year. There's still plenty of time to win it. Obviously, we have it limited, but as everything gets bigger, we're going to expand that number. We want all of you to go. And I don't know where in your life that you can go and be plugged into something like this and have access to these people that have developed success in their own right by applying 5 things in their life and then all of the stuff that go around with it, where you can get that. And all they do is compliment you and tell you how awesome you are. And you're in an environment where you're loved and you're appreciated and you're told you can do it. Tell me, can you get that at your job? Can you get that in your neighborhood, in your family? I don't know. That is one thing I was so shocked when I went to my first function and people believed in me. I never even heard those words before. And I had to go. It took me years. It took me 12 years to do to make what an EC1 makes. And there's people on this call that did it in 12 months, 24 months. It took me 12 years. That's how far and how much molding and stuff that had to happen. But I don't care. The last 22 years was way better than the first 16. And most of the 16 was pretty good. But who I've become, that's even better. Does that make sense? Like, you guys don't know Marcel back when I was 20 years old. I do. You don't know me when I was 28. You can't get inside my mind and know all those fears I have. And I look back at it and I go, I don't know how that happened. But see, that's what I learned. That's what I understand today. If we don't know something, we can learn it. Do you guys realize that? If you don't know how to do something, you can learn it. Is there going to be no's involved in rejection? Yeah. But you're going to learn from that, just like I did. And you're going to build up resilience and you're going to become fearless. And people ask me all the time, do you really think I can do this? Yeah, you can. Anybody can. Or you just got a big enough why to make the commitment and the sacrifice to discipline yourself enough to get good at those 5 things. That's all I'm wanting you to do, is get good at them. You get good at them, they will produce for you. It's 100%. You get good at those, they will produce. Where you're weak, we will fill in. Do you see how this whole thing's working? Where you're weak, we fill in. And we can do this together. And obviously, there's a lot of us. It's better to come to us when we go to St. George. It's better to get on these calls. It's hard for us to go all around the world and be with you on a one-on-one basis. But your direct line of leadership has that ability. Does that make sense what I'm saying? We've created something where you have constant access to knowledge from the top all the way to the bottom. There's like 90% of this company does not have access like that. These other groups that are having success do not have all of this to be able to hang on to and plug into. I mean, they can plug into what we're doing and stuff. I'm not saying that. It's just there's a lot of people that don't know what I'm teaching you and what we're teaching you on this call in this company. Just go to an event and listen to them talk when they speak. You can tell, if that makes sense. I don't know how many, well, like I said, I could roll on and roll on. It's a new year. I got plenty of time to talk. I can't wait to be in St. George with you guys. I can't wait. I don't know. Do I need to read these again? Did you guys put your numbers down in the chat? I wasn't watching. Cynthia, did they all?
They did.
Most of them?
A good number of people did. And some
Okay.
actually even picked a couple categories. That's awesome.
I love it. So the whole moral or point of what I even tried to do tonight was say, look, just get better at doing those. Just get good at doing them. When you get great at doing them, you will make a lot more money than what you're making when you're good at them. But when you're good at them, you can probably walk away from your job if you want to, or put enough money in, create such an income that you can now retire, or your retirement's going to be good. When you get excellent, you're going to be sitting in my chair with all this knowledge and wisdom pouring out to all of those new people that are just getting on board because of what you did and the way that you build your foundation. Your business is going to go all around the world. I don't care if you believe that or not, but I'm going to tell you how it's going to happen. Just like me, I don't know anybody in Japan, never did. I mean, I've met some now, never knew them, but I knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody that did. And they went to Japan. I had nothing to do with that. Isn't that crazy to think? Sometimes I don't think we look at this picture big enough. If we're in a little town, you know what? It will leave your town. Because one thing I do know, it's so true. And if you don't believe me, test it. Other people know people that you don't know. I promise. It is the most amazing thing. And you only need to know 5. All these little principles of behaviors, you just got to get good at them and find 5 people that want something out of this business that will work for it, make commitments like you're going to. And the best thing you can do, no matter where you are in your business, is good at these 5 things and be a great example to those people that are just getting on into your business so that they have a way to follow. Because when they have a question, you'll have an answer. Because when you're doing it, the experience, all of a sudden the knowledge comes and you have an answer for everything. So anyway, I didn't even think it was going to take that long to tell you that, but I am grateful and honored to have this time with you guys tonight. And I mean, thank you, Cynthia, so much for the introduction, but I'm not as far removed as that sound. Like, I'm not just flying by and hopping in. I'm here for the duration, and I
Yes.
always have been. One of the things that I can say proudly is I'm probably the most consistent leader in this company when it comes to just doing what I said I'm going to do and staying plugged in with giving access to people that haven't even joined yet. And I don't say that boastfully. I believe in this stuff. And I'm going to go back to Dave's conversation. His dad taught him that his word should mean something. I just believe that. And because it's in my DNA already, that has that shortcutted a lot of things that I didn't need to go through that you guys will go through. If your word's not as golden to you as it should be, then you're going to learn some other things that I didn't have to learn because I already had that. I already had that rooted inside of my heart. And so I'm being vulnerable with you guys tonight. I'm just pouring out everything that I feel. If I could just say those one thing, that's something that's going to help you. It's going to be a good 2026, and I'm going to be right there to celebrate with you. So with that being said, Cynthia, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Fantastic.
I appreciate you guys.
And
Can't
I
wait
will
to
just,
see you in St. George. And
yes,
hopefully
St.
it's warm down there
George.
for those of you who live in a cold environment.
And speaking of St. George, we've got posts for the hotel and the registration. And I've heard it from my mentors, and Marcel just said it, leaders register. And then that's the only way to ask others to do that. It's really an interesting, magical twist. Registering creates that future, and then I can recommend someone to do it because I did it. So I really appreciate all of you making the time, for Marcel for being with us and pouring your heart out like that, for all of our panelists and each and every one of you. If only the panel showed up, we couldn't really, I think the 9 of us would have had a good time. You make it because your feedback in the chat, you're allowing us to contribute to you. It is a circuit of give and take, It is a magical, precious circle, as I've heard it called. Thank you, everyone. Definitely get yourself registered. Take a look at the links. We'll keep the room open for, another minute so you can screenshot whatever you need to. And everyone, this is going to be the most magical year of our lives. All
Summer
right,
hugs
everyone.
and kisses. Did she hang up? Okay, thank you guys.
Woohoo!
Awesome job, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.